Well, there are three reasons, Brian, that I see that oil has no chance of reaching $75. The first one that Barron uses to describe why it might reach $75 is because we have so much production that's gaining ground here in the United States. In the Bakken, we hear about it, the Eagle Ford and the Permian Basin. But all of this production has amounted to only about 2 million barrels. We might get another 2 million barrels a day. And in fact, that's really nothing. It's kind of a drop in the bucket compared to global oil production, which actually seems to be sinking right now. The Saudis are at a full tilt right now. The second reason why we may not see $75 oil, in fact, I think there's no chance we'll see $75 oil, is because the technologies that we use for getting these marginal barrels, the fracking of oil shale and the very, very deep water drilling, these are very expensive barrels. All of the easy oil is in fact running out. That $5 a barrel oil that we think of when we stick, like a Derrick old-fashioned guy sticking a pipe in the ground and doing a dance while the oil comes gushing out via John Houston and all of that stuff. All of that oil is basically gone.
I drink your milkshake, Dan.
Right. That's right. I drink your milk. And precisely that one. That kind of oil. Most of that is now gone, and the oil that we're drilling for now is much more expensive. The marginal price of that is well over $50 a barrel, and some of it is over $80 and $90 a barrel.
Well, let's pick up on your first point there, because remember last year, Brian, you went to the Bakken and you did some great reporting over there. And I remember asking you, what is the biggest risk to the Bakken boom? And you said cheap oil prices, because it just makes digging and drilling absolutely unprofitable.
Exactly.
So you do not have any vested interest in letting the price go down to 75 or below.
And not only that, but most E&Ps will give up on some of the shale plays if prices do go down that low. It's only worth it for them to drill if they get marginal prices above $100 or $110. There are finds, for example, in the Gulf of Mexico, huge finds that are not being drilled right now because they need 100 plus, 110, 120 to make it worthwhile.
Agreed,
to go
but we're not. That's the point of this segment was talk about Obama's trip to Saudi Arabia. So
right.
Let's try to get that in.
Well, I think
about the genius of this. He goes over and meets with the Saudi king, right? Let's say he convinces him to up oil production at more than 11 million barrels a day. Okay?
There's a question if they can do that, but I'll go with you so far.
Maybe they can't.
Right.
Okay, but if they could,
right,
suddenly now, Saudis are pumping more, oil goes down, Russia's leverage. Gone.
Well, there is something to be said if you could leverage prices down, and in fact there was a study that came out recently about releasing 70 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to try and at least temporarily force down prices. I think we had, for example, we had a 5 million SPR test release, or they said it was a test release. I really think it was sort of a test of how much effect the SPR could have on lowering prices. It was a flexing of muscle on Russian oil. But in the end, I don't think an SPR release or the Saudis really can drop marginal barrel prices.